You don't know me and I don't know you, yet still I want you to trust me when I say that Adriana, the Skull Merchant, is not getting buffed. She is getting nerfed actually. Let me explain this bold statement to you. During the PTB, I acknowledged fully that Adriana is a weak killer, but god I loved her so much. I am the type of guy who plays a lot of killers like Hag, Plague, Artist, and Knight that hold survivors hostage for eternity until they die. I actually love this playstyle. And I loved that with Adriana, and I tried to push her to her limits using every add-on I could and using every disgusting build I could. I played a lot of 3-genning games and they were just so fucking disgusting for survivors. Some of them even DC'd, and I get that. That's PTB, you don't expect people to do that on the PTB. But that's what fun was to me. I wanted to do this, I wanted to see how good she actually may be. Not that good as I wanted her, but okay, that's fine. However, two things actually bothered me a lot. Number one, the only thing she is able to do is 3-genning. She does not have anything apart from that. And number two, her power is actually much more understandable when you are playing Survivor rather than Killer. Do you remember about that eye, for example, that appears on top of the Survivor when Adriana uses her radar? I did not even realize that they know when I try to track them until I got to play a few Survivor games with her. That's something I could have never figured out if I just played the killer alone. This is something that struck me when I played Serika during her PTB and then release, and this is just the same thing. And comparison with Serika is never ever a good thing. We all know and understand that. The way I see it, both the fact that this killer has a somewhat good 3-genning power and no actual power to catch survivors, the fact that this killer is much more comprehensible to the survivor than the killer himself, those two things are combined by one single umbrella, which is this killer was designed to be easy to deal with. Behavior were extremely scared to make her actually strong and fearsome. And to a certain extent, they have acknowledged that and buffed her quite a bit. Her exposed status that was extremely bad during the PTB is now 10 times better. Oh god, how good that is. It still has the problem that you can only achieve this exposed under certain rare circumstances, and that's not something reliable. Like, for example, with this David, I could achieve the exposed status on him due to locking him down in a basement of a building on Lambkin Lane. How often can that happen on a regular day? Like, how often can that really happen? I don't trust that ability at all. What remains was the information power. Information was extremely weak during the PTB due to the fact that claw traps only lasted for 25 seconds and Adriana was moving at 100% speed while using her radar, with the survivor knowing for sure that she is tracking him. And they have changed that as well. She is now a 110 killer when she is using her radar, and survivors no longer have this eye appearing on top of their heads when they are being targeted through the radar. And the claw trap is now 45 seconds. This is amazing. This is just amazing. And if this was all, her 3-genning capabilities would have become quite literally insane. You see, even though I have encountered an extremely stupid problem with her 3-genning, which you could have guessed by the way I have been putting the drones during the footage on the background of this video, you actually have to pick your drone and put it in a way that it covers every spot for the survivor on the gen straight, with nothing crossing it. Because if at least some part of that gen does cross the line of sight, you can work on that gen properly. And the second problem with this is the way that hitboxes for the radar works. Even in the active mode and not in scouting mode, you can be to a certain extent inside the radius, with my hands here for example, because it only counts in your hitbox, which is around your butt, especially when you are sitting or doing something on a gen. Just how the hitboxes work in this game, that's normal logic. But this all has to be remembered by the killer and understood by the killer in order to use this ability properly. Then it becomes extremely fearful, especially if you can do 1k before every gen is done. Why? During the PTB, A survivor with a claw trap, no matter if it is active or not, could not disable a drone. This was a safety feature for her, a good safety feature. When a survivor disabled a drone, it was 25 seconds for the claw trap to become inactive and then like 5 seconds for you to pull it down from yourself. Then you could disable another drone. This gave Adriana enough time to move between the gens, kick them with certain perks, and then put a new drone on this place, making 3genning extremely powerful for her. As you could have figured, and as bhvr obviously figured out as well, a situation where the claw trap is 45 seconds is a total nightmare which is completely inescapable for survivors. When a survivor enters the claw trap mode, he has a 45-second timer. After that, he needs 5 seconds to pull this thing down, and then he can do another round of drone disabling. Throughout all this time, Adriana could have placed like 4 drones, 5 drones, because her cooldown is now 10 seconds. Meaning that even if there are 4 survivors, 4 of them, they would be unable to not get exposed by Adriana, and with those 45 seconds, it's extremely easy to see the actual problem. You have 50 seconds before you can disable another drone, meaning that Adriana will just circle around the gens like that, and replace every drone you have disabled. This would have probably made 3gen or a 4gen, maybe even a 5gen against her an inescapable situation unless you wanted to get exposed. And with the improvements of information gains by this killer, well, I guess that's a terrible and deadly scenario for any survivor. This would make this killer unbearable, but really good, really strong. And bhvr patched that thing out. They slipped a tiny nerf inside all of those buffs. What was the nerf? A survivor with a claw trap, active or inactive doesn't matter, can now disable another drone. Unlimited amount of another drones. Meaning that this is a double hit on the Adriana. Why do I say double hit? First one is pre-genning is now not that good at all. There can be one survivor that will be running around disabling all of your drones, and you cannot do anything about it except to chase this exact survivor, letting the others do the gens. Just fucking perfect. But more to that, this actually limits her capabilities in terms of information. Because if there is only one survivor that can go around the map and disable every drone, you will probably have only one survivor with a claw trap. So your secondary power, your radar, becomes a tool to locate one person at a time. There will be no scenario where several survivors will have this claw trap. Of course, for the first week or two, we'll see a lot of people doing dumb shit, just the same way this happened with Knight, but after some time, people will get to understand how to play against this, and they will be effective, and Adriana will drop somewhere to probably Freddy or Trapper in terms of power. She will be worse. And you know, as I told you, I really loved Adriana, and I don't anymore. I won't be buying this chapter, I won't be buying any of the characters, even using shards, I won't be buying any skins, I won't be buying anything, even perks from the shrine. I'm not doing that, and I hope that you will do the same. bhvr need to see that they messed this up huge, and the only way they will see that if the revenue isn't that good. I'm totally disappointed, my day is completely ruined, and I'm just leaving. I'm out of here. So okay, with the main idea of the video out of the way, let me tell you a little bit about myself, because this is my first ever video to an English channel. So I have been playing Dead by Daylight for quite some time now, over a year and a half probably, and around 1600 hours. I know, not that much. I love this game with my soul. Well, you can see how much I love this game. And I'm a killer main. I main Plague, I love Knight a lot, I love Artist, Hag, Trapper, those are my favorite guys. The Spirit, obviously, I love her a lot, but I don't play her that much, I'm not that good with her. And that's it. That's what I am, that's who I am. I love Dead by Daylight, I am already a YouTuber actually. Well, the turn off here might be the fact that I'm actually Russian, and this is not my first ever YouTube video. Uh, I have a channel which I've been doing for a little bit over a year now, and it is in my native language, Russian, with around 5,000 subs. But the reason I am doing this channel is because I've always wanted to reach out to other audience, to the English-speaking audience, which I also know and love very much, and also to practice my English. I have a TOEFL certificate, but as you could guess, I don't have enough practice in terms of speaking the language. And this is what I will also be trying to do here. So to all of you who came from my Russian channel to support me, thank you so much. To all of you who just stumbled upon this video on YouTube and decided to watch it to this point, oh my god guys, I really wish I see you here again. With that said, now really, goodbye everyone, I'm so happy you came. Bye.